Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to Perspective, a program that tends to point out to different perspectives in regards to different phenomena. As such, right now we are dealing with Christmas, the birth of Hazrat Isa alayhi salam, Jesus Christ, which we had this last weekend on 25th of December on Sunday, and we are here to really look into the aspect or have a perspective in regards to Hazrat Isa alayhi salam. Indeed, as the phone lines are open, please do give us a call if you have any questions, if you have any comments in regards to Christmas as we are dealing with, or New Year even, which is about to come. I would like to look into some of the contemporary aspects of this whole birth of Hazrat Isa alayhi salam. Unfortunately, we tend to see that Christmas have been commercialized too much, although all of these things happen in the name of Christ, in the name of Hazrat Isa alayhi salam, but unfortunately we tend to see that justice is not done to the very birth of Hazrat Isa alayhi salam, where he has mentioned so much that one should be far away, where his life itself, as we mentioned it earlier, that how simple he was. What did he say about, my pillow is rock, my warmth is the winter in the east of the earth, and so on and so forth. He said to the people in regards to that how humble they should be, how caring and kind they should be, how much they should be out of these sort of worldly things, right? But on the other hand, today we tend to see that how much the celebration of Christmas is commercialized. Now here I would like to give few example where Hazrat Isa alayhi salam speaks. He says, "In truth I say to you, whoever looks at a snake that intends to strike his brother and does not warn him until it kills him, he will not be secure from partnership in his murder. Likewise, whoever looks at his brother doing something wrong and does not warn him of its consequences until it encompasses him, he will not be secure from the partnership in his sins." So now Hazrat Isa alayhi salam is warning others, and is also saying, asking others to warn about the dangers that are there in the society that is existing. It is pointing out to the principle of Amar bil Maruf wa Nahy anil Munkar, which is very central to the teachings of Shia Islam, that Amar bil Maruf wa Nahy anil Munkar. The whole uprising of Imam Hussain was for very this sake. Now here, whether this be in a form of a cultural, worldly, materialistic involvement of the world towards commodity, towards the glitters of the world, and one is not warned with. So it is quite important that we really consider this as well, that our Christmas, our celebration, should not purely be purely be a celebration of like a commercialized thing, but rather they should have some sort of in-depth understanding of Hazrat Isa and his life as well. That's what I tend to do, as regardless of whether we Muslims living here in the West are come under the cultural and the values and the atmosphere kind of pressurize or kind of point out to or influence our thoughts and our buying and our selling and our celebrating, and as when it is a good cause, which is the birth of Hazrat Isa alayhi salam, then why not be the case? Why not there be a sort of Christmas dinner, where we gather our relatives, as it's a holiday already, it's a long weekend, and we kind of celebrate, in the sense that the celebration of being together, celebrating of having a supper together, even if it be, for example, of a gift exchange. It's a good thing. It is nothing wrong, as in it's recommended to do so. So all of these things becomes the part and parcel of the Western culture and society, which Muslim tends to overwhelmingly celebrate, overwhelmingly participate. And there's nothing wrong in doing so, but rather is recommended as well. That's why we tend to exchange give gifts to our neighbors. And I personally have attended the midnight mass as well with one of my friend, a few years back, and it was quite interesting for me to really attend that. So this is really a time of connecting, of letting people know that we also uphold the values of Hazrat Isa alayhi salam, such as the saying which I just recited. There are many more. I mean, if you look at, for example, another saying which I would like to recite, where he says that and a man asked Jesus, the son of Mary, which people is the best? He took 2 handfuls of earth and said, which of these is the best? The people are created from earth, so the most honorable them is the most God-weary. Taqwa. The most who are God-weary, who are God-conscious, they are considered to be the best among others. The conversation of Isa alayhi salam with his companions, they asked him, O Spirit of God, O Ruhullah, so with whom should we keep company? He said, he the sight of whom reminds you of Allah, his speech increases your knowledge, and his action makes you desirous of the other world. So you should company with these type of people, people who would remind you of God, whose speech will increase your knowledge, and their actions will make you desire the other life. These are the teachings of Hazrat Isa alayhi salam. Now, if we have a celebration of a Christmas, as we have holidays, a person attends nightclubs or pubs, but rather the holidays should be used in order to join with the family, to be with the family, to discuss about this great personality, who this man was, and how he managed to really change the whole entire world. Now, as we are approaching the end of the time as well, I would like to point out to certain differences which is very special, which is very unique in regards to the crucifixion of the Christ. Muslims do not believe that Hazrat Isa alayhi salam was crucified on the cross, but rather they believe that Hazrat Isa alayhi salam was raised to the 4th heaven. Now, as he was raised to the 4th heaven, the question of returning of Hazrat Isa alayhi salam to this earth exists, and his returning back to the 7th heaven, which is the hereafter, which is the Jannah, or just like how all of the prophets have went back towards God, have returned back to God, have been designated station in Jannah, that exists for Hazrat Isa alayhi salam. So that will happen after his return from the 4th heaven to this earth, then eventually he will return back. Now, the description that is provided by the Quran, the words that the Quran have used in order to explain the taking away of Hazrat Isa alayhi salam to the 4th heaven and his return is very unique and special. There's a similar type of belief that exists within the Shia Islam, which talks about the major occultation of the great grandson of the Prophet, which is Imam al-Mahdi alayhi salam, Ajjalallahu ta'ala farajahu sharif, who is in hiding. Now, once again, you have these similarities that Hazrat Isa alayhi salam is in the fourth heaven and is not here, and he will return. And then for the Shias, you have the 12th Imam who will return. So, this returning aspect of these two great personalities, these divine personalities, once again brings that common ground of the Muslims and the Christians. The aspect of love that exists within the Shia Islam and the aspect of love that exists within the Christian school or Christian religion, Christianity, once again points out to that commonality that exists amongst the Christians and Muslim, the phenomena of love and how important love is. And in the same way, in the school of Shia, you have the love playing that central role in the school of thought in Shia Islam. Now let's point out to this aspect of the return of Hazrat Isa alayhi salam, how it is regarded, how the Quran uses this this aspect of return. In the Quran it says that Nuzul Isa, the verses of the Quran points out to that the nuzul, which means that the descent of Hazrat Isa alayhi salam will take place from the fourth heaven. Now in regards to Hazrat Imam al-Asr, it is Zuhur Mahdi. Now we have a call, we'll take a call from our viewer. Bismillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum salam.
How are you doing?
Fine, thank you.
I'm at your service, brother. Any question, any comment you would like to share?
I just want to ask about this Christmas tree.
Oh, yes.
What you say about this in the Quran, how they celebrate the Christian tree.
Yes, there is there is nothing about that in terms of the Bible or in the Quran. There's nothing to do with the birth of Hazrat Isa alayhi salam. You can continue, we can converse if you are still around. Yes. So therefore, if you want to say something more, you can. If not, I will continue a bit more to explain about the Christmas tree. Okay, now this Christmas tree, like I said, is nothing to do with any religious aspect of Christianity or even Islam as such. I mean, obviously, it is more related to the Christians. In ways we tend to see Christmas. Whenever Christmas arrives, you have the Christmas tree, being there. So they themselves regard, they are aware of it. The Christians who are Catholics, Christians are fully aware that it has no religious symbol either. It's not even had a symbol like cross. Yes, cross has a very fascinating and it is a very unique symbol of Hazrat Isa alayhi salam, and it is not actually the symbol of his crucifixion, but rather it is a symbol of human perfection, cross. But outwardly it is seen as a symbol of crucifixion of Christ, because according to them, Isa alayhi salam was crucified. And then he raised again. The Easter, the celebration of the Easter. Now, here there is the question of the tree is nothing to do with the religious values or anything. But like we see, family, children. The families, they have kids and they tend to push you to have some sort of star and celebration. Like I said, we living in the West are somehow, influence or if you want to call the culture, we kind of integrate. And, having a tree, if the kids are forcing you to have, or, do a bit of celebration, as long as it is not make you do something that is haram. There isn't any issue in regards to that, having a star or having a Christmas dinner or sitting with the family. There's nothing wrong in regards to that. Now, like I said, I'm not into conspiracy theories. Where does it really come from? It's very satanic. Santa Claus is satanic and all that. I'm not that sort of I'm not going to get into that. Now, going back onto the nuzul and zuhur of Hazrat Isa alayhi salam, and prior to that, the symbolism of the cross. See, cross is that center point. You have the vertical aspect of insan, which is going towards God, that vertical. Then you have the horizontal aspect of insan, which is in this dunya. So the center point of that is that insan-e-kamil, where the horizontal aspect and the vertical aspect meets. That point, that middle one, right, where both are meeting, that meeting point, that is the point of insan-e-kamil, of a perfect man who is at a juncture of this horizontal aspect. He's at this dunya, but at the same time he is at that sort of connection with the divine, that vertical aspect. Well, he could fall in different places, where he could not meet that vertical aspect. So that is the aspect of the symbolism of the cross, very briefly. But however, Hazrat Isa alayhi salam was really crucified on the cross. They tend to talk about cross in that sense of the word. Now, going back onto that aspect of the zuhur and nuzul, I just wanted to make a point here, and that is, when we look at the verses of the Quran, it points out to the nuzul of Isa. Now, nuzul is a very miraculous descent of Hazrat Isa alayhi salam. We say nuzul Quran. When we say nuzul Quran, what does that mean? It means that this is the Quran that we have here, right? And at the same time, there is a Quran on Lawh Mahfuz. So from Lawh Mahfuz, this is nuzul of the Quran, right? So you have the nuzul, you have the reality over there, and the manifestation, and the nuzul of that has taken place. There is some sort of connection with this Quran, with that Quran which is up in the Lawh Mahfuz. Now, when we are talking about, in the beginning we talk about birth of Hazrat Isa alayhi salam. Hazrat Isa alayhi salam was born, right? And then after that you have the, ascension of Hazrat Isa alayhi salam. Hazrat Isa alayhi salam being taken away. Now, the return of Hazrat Isa alayhi salam is known as Nuzul Isa. It is not known as birth. It is not known as, for example, appearance, zuhur, like in regards to Hazrat Imam al-Asr alayhi salam, where it says it is the zuhur of Hazrat Isa alayhi salam, zuhur of Imam Mahdi alayhi salam, right? So it is not the birth, it is not the zuhur, but it is nuzul, which is a third term that God have used, which is very fascinating and which is very unique. And it really requires that one should really contemplate on this, and how and what type of nuzul of Hazrat Isa would be. Now you have the aspect of the zuhur of Imam Mahdi alayhi salam. Now see, zuhur is very different to nuzul. Zuhur is like you have a group of people and all of a sudden somebody, goes unconscious. Now in this group of people, you are unaware that which person is a doctor. There is, so you just shout that, is there any doctor here available for help? Right? So among this crowd of people, one raises his hand and he says, I'm a GP or whatever, I'm a doctor. Right? Now he is already here and I'm unaware of who is the doctor. Then I say, who is the one? Then somebody zuhur, somebody appears, somebody introduces oneself that I am the doctor. So here he was already there. This is called zuhur. So when it comes to the 12th Imam, we say zuhur Imam Mahdi alayhi salam. That means that he is here with us, among us, around us, but we don't recognize him. The same way as we haven't recognized the doctor who was among the group of people. When we said, who is it? Then he appears. Then he, as they say, zahir ho gaya. He, he zahir showed, as they say, he appears. So the same way in regards to the 12th Imam, that he is among us, he is with us. He goes for Hajj every year. And we don't know who he is. And then there is zuhur of his will take place, and we pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that may Allah haste his reappearance and include us as his faithful companions. Now, the question of Nuzul Isa is very fascinating. What type of Nuzul this would be? Is he going to be in the fourth heaven and then from there he will descend? Will he have a physical body? Just like how Hazrat Imam Mahdi is Zuhur, he has a physical body. But does it Isa will have a physical body? Or will he have a spiritual body? Now, many scholars have talked about, now he is also Hujjat, and the 12th Imam is also Hujjat. But the 12th Imam is Hujjat of that time. That's why Hazrat Isa will pray behind him, right? Now, he is the Hujjat in terms because he is physically present, he is the Hujjat. Hazrat Isa alayhi salam is present in the spiritual form, or is present in a physical form. Will he have a hollow body where he is on the fourth heaven, but he is manifestating his existence, his zuhur, his nuzul, just like how the Quran, the real Quran is on Lawh Mahfuz, but is nuzul here. So these are the questions that really fascinate us, and his birth is really fascinating of Hazrat Isa. His taken away to the fourth heaven is fascinating. His returning back is fascinating. And then his returning back towards the heaven is fascinating. That's Ruhullah. That is the word of God. And once again, as we said, word becoming flesh, then you have, he is that perfect soul. He is the manifestation of all of the divine Asma Ilahi. Indeed, a date which is regarded as the birth, or as we said, although it is not, it is not 25th, is not really the birth and of Hazrat Isa, but it is celebrated that day. Let's regard that date as a date, of the blessed. That date be blessed by such a great prophet of Islam. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala haste his nuzul and include us as the faithful companions, and let there be stability and security for in the Middle East, where his birthplace is and where his descent will also take place, inshallah. Wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa alayhi tahirin. Thank you very much to all our viewers, and thank you to our brother who gave us a call as well. We really appreciate your contribution, your participation. We would really like the program to be interactive, more questions we ask. Till next week, goodbye from Perspective. Thank you very much.